WRKS Pickens Jackson.
Are you ready?
Now live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
Are listening to
Mississippi's #1 sports talk show, The Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming worldwide live on the Out of Bounds radio app and on your radio at ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
And good morning. Welcome in. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Michael Katz will join us. Southern Cal grad, Ole Miss insider. At 8:30 on the Corona Premier Guest Line. Katz will talk Ole Miss baseball and football. Big weekend in Oxford. They'll host the Mississippi State Bulldogs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They got the Grove Bowl. And then, of course, double-decker weekend. That's a lot going on. I don't know how you do all that, but we're live in the Bank Plus studio. The show is brought to you by the Bone-In Ribeye at Kessler Prime in the Renaissance. And you can marry it with some mushrooms and hopefully a glass of Long Branch bourbon or Russell's Reserve or Turkey 101, the official bourbons of the Out of Bounds show. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Hit us up on the Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line, 601-707-3750. Twitter handle at Bo Bounds. Give us a follow on Twitter. And then it was Mississippi Ag, now Ag Up Equipment. Ag Up Equipment text line is 601-885-3776. Is it official that Ole Miss baseball is done this year, or can they turn this bad boy around with bats like Elko, Bench, Graham, Gonzalez, and so on? Can they find enough magic there to maybe give them a little bit of oomph on the mound? I don't know. But both teams struggling, but the two fan bases still want to take 2 of 3 or sweep this weekend. I can guarantee you that. And all the pressure is on Ole Miss. They started the year, in a better spot. Mississippi State lost their best player, #1 starter. MSU has struggled. The games are in Oxford. And then Ole Miss went to #1, and since then, the last month and a week, I don't know what happened, 4 or 5 weeks, just things went off the rails. They can't get it back going. They can't win at home. And then they allowed an average South Carolina team to take 2 or 3 from them. And Southeast Missouri State beat them 13-3 last night. I watched 7 innings of it and kept thinking, I can't believe this is playing out this way.
But what an opportunity, if he were able to do it, to get some type of positive note on the way out the door if he were able to beat Mississippi State finally at home after 0 for 3 the last 2 home series against Mississippi State. Jake Mangum specifically.
The bald guy says at least Ole Miss will win the Grove Bowl. So there you go. He's looking at this from a
solid
glass half full outlook.
Let me ask you this question. What do you think the true fan level, I guess, apathy is? Will they have a good crowd, a bad crowd? Will they have the average fan checked out finally? Because that's the measuring stick, right? The average fan.
I still think surely that place is packed tomorrow night. Now, what happens in that game is going to dictate the rest of the weekend.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I just still have to believe that tomorrow night the place will be nuts.
Okay.
This rivalry, it's one of the biggest rivalries in collegiate athletics. A lot of times, national college people don't understand it, but it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And in baseball, it actually has national ramifications a lot of times.
True.
The way the Iron Bowl does in football.
Bama and Auburn had played for some big, big stuff.
Yeah.
No doubt. And when I was growing up in the 90s, Florida and Florida State, Bowden Spurrier played for some big, the big steak meal, the big steak dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Duke and North Carolina just did. I was down there a couple of weeks ago at the Final Four. They finally met in the NCAA tournament for all the marbles to get to the NCAA championship. But when they play in the regular season, it's big games.
Yeah.
When Ole Miss and Mississippi State play for the Golden Egg, monster game.
You know, it's interesting you brought up Duke, North Carolina, because that was a legacy definer for Coach K. He lost both of his last 2 games to North Carolina. That affects, I told you, it's the ultimate trump card for North Carolina fans. If Bianco can win on his way out, what a turn of events. But if he goes 0-3 or 1-4, including 1-3, including the Governor's Cup, something like that, if you lose the series, if you lose more than you win on this way out against State, I just think it even more buries the positivity of his career with the bitterness of what happened against his rival.
Yes, that will burn off, but right now we're in the throes of it, and like you said, lighter fluid's just being dumped on this fire.
From every direction.
Yeah.
Mm.
I wouldn't touch this series as far as money
Oh,
with a 10-foot pole.
I wouldn't bet your money on it.
Because, that's a better way to put it. I wouldn't bet someone else's money on this series.
No.
Trying to get a gauge, an idea of what we have with these two clubs is very difficult this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some gaping holes in these two squads. But we thought Ole Miss would be a national championship, had the potential to be a national championship contender and make a strong run at Omaha. I never in a million years thought that, what is today, the 19th?
Yep, 20th.
I never thought, Sweetwater 420. I never thought on April 20th that Ole Miss would be playing for their life to go to a regional.
Is there another coach? So we've mentioned Stansbury who fits this model, but give me a coach who fits the Bianco model in modern sports eras. It doesn't have to be obviously from Mississippi.
Well, it's Mark Richt.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
and
Mark
that's
Richt.
the easy one. But where it goes
Never
south,
got in trouble. People liked him. Wonderful to the community.
But here's the
won at a high level, but never won.
But did
Never
Rick's,
even played for
No.
the big.
No, he
trophy.
got to the semifinals, basically the SEC tournament, like 2-3 times, but never got past it.
Yeah.
But his career didn't necessarily go down in flames at the end in Georgia.
No, he handed over a very healthy program.
Bianco's is
to Kirby
tanking
Smart.
at a rate that, like Nick said earlier, and I thought it was such a funny one. We've only seen like Enron tank this fast. Is there another coach that fits that? Like,
You wanna go local? WorldCom?
Stansbury. Yeah, WorldCom's a
That's
great
too
one.
close to home to too many people. Probably
Stansbury's
listening.
a great one because his actually tanked.
Yeah.
Just like Bianco's is tanking right
Yeah.
now.
But I think there's just a lot of similarities between Bianco and Stansbury.
Yeah. Is there anybody else who comes to mind that had great success and then just the end was so bad?
I don't remember Jeff Bauer's last few games.
Okay.
I just can't. I can't go.
I'm trying to think
remember.
of other. So like, I'm trying to think of even other coaches. Like Joe Paterno was amazing, and then like at the end, his teams kind of fell
Bobby
apart.
Bowden.
Bobby Bowden, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Although they never missed the bowls, he still kept the bowl game in streak, the bowl game.
Yeah,
streak.
but that's not. We're
That's
talking
true.
winning 10
But
games.
Bianco might not make the postseason.
That's true.
Which would be the ultimate fall from grace for a guy who's only missed it twice in eligible years. So not counting 2020, he only missed it twice in his career.
Which is remarkable.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And he may miss it this year on the way out the door. That's just amazing. I never would have. I would have gambled tons of money and lost all of it that they would miss the postseason if this ends up playing out that way.
Yeah, I would have taken a hit in the bank account.
For sure.
So you asked. Let me go back to the question you asked a few minutes ago. What will the crowd look like tomorrow night for Game 1? I think this is 0-0 this series. I think it'll be slam packed and they'll still be on the edge of their seats trying to find some fire and some momentum. And then the rest of the attendance for the rest of the weekend will
Depends, yeah.
Depends.
On that
Yeah.
outcome. Okay.
Don't you? Or do you not think it'll be packed?
I think that ship has already sailed.
All right. Maybe. Out of bounds, driven by your next SUV or truck at Mac Hike in Flowwood. Visit MacHikeFlowwood.com. That's MacHikeFlowwood.com for your next truck or SUV, pre-owned or new. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Are we spinning the prize wheel next? I don't even know if I'm ready. I got to get the arm warmed up. All right, prize wheel coming up next. You want to watch the show?
go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
In any industry, businesses come and go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
In any industry, businesses come and go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
This is the Out of Bounds Prize Wheel.
You know the rules.
Presented by Tito's Vodka. Enjoy a Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary this weekend. And now,
Oh, here we go.
Good morning. Welcome in. We've got the Prize Wheel segment going now. Brought to you by Havana Smoke Shop, 2 locations, I-55 North in Jackson, and Havana Smoke Shop across from Shaggy's at the Reservoir. Here's how you could win. Go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. Go to Facebook, search the Out of Bounds Show. That way you'll see the webcast. Pull it up, and you can just comment on something you see in the studio, something you're thinking, or on Mike Bianco's Ole Miss baseball team or the Mississippi State baseball team or NFL draft. So, let's say that again. Go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. Go to Facebook, search the Out of Bounds Show. That's how you enter to possibly win something really cool on the prize wheel. And, Blake, I feel like I want to give people a minute or two here. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. If you'll you watch, comment, that's how you enter to possibly win Mississippi Braves tickets, Bravo Sal and Mookie's gift card, Live Oaks Golf, Out of Bounds swag, Edwin White swag, Jonesy Q rubs and sauces, Dancing Rabbit Golf. I've got 2 more of those, by the way.
Nice.
2 more rounds of 2. Yeah. And Burgers and Blues barbecue gift card, among other things. Blake's got on here Out of Bounds Fan Club, which is pretty funny.
That's our new one.
Okay.
We're coming up with it. I was trying to come up with a different name for what we call our P1s or whatever. But, I mean, the fan club, it's nice. I mean, because we have fans. It's true. Speaking of that.
Well, I do. I don't know if you do. This hasn't been confirmed.
No. Let's be real clear. People tune in for me. It just has your name on the dial. That's all it is.
Well, you've made sure to put your name on as much stuff as is around the show.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
You're the only producer to ever do that.
Yeah. I would argue I'm the only producer to talk as much as I have it, too.
Let me think. Rush could talk a lot.
Could and did, though, are different words, right?
Well, at times he would.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, Jackson talked.
That's true. But Jackson also slept through half your shows.
He would be in, and then he'd take a little bit of a sabbatical.
For all my flaws.
Then he'd be back.
For all my flaws, I've never fallen asleep during
You've
the
never.
show.
I took pictures of him sleeping while he was producing
great.
the show.
I was here. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
But that was when he was betting on tennis till 5 a.m. in the morning.
Serbian horse racing.
He told us women's tennis in the Philippines.
Yes.
Oh, I got to do this.
Yeah.
All right.
Michael has tuned in from the beginning of the hour.
Okay.
So we're going to Michael S.
All right. Watch the show. Comment. That's how you enter, and you could win something really cool. Or maybe Blake didn't put something cool on here, and that's Blake's fault. All right. We're about to spin the prize wheel, brought to you by Havana Smoke Shop, which I don't think cigars are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Go. You ready?
Yep.
Can you see this, or do I need to?
Oh, you're perfect.
All right.
Yeah, you're lined up.
Yes, I am. Here we go.
Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, that was a good, solid first spin. You're warmed up today.
Yeah, well, I'm left-handed.
Loose. You're loose.
Most people can't do this.
Boom!
Bravo gift card.
The trifecta.
Bravo, Sal and Mookie's, or Broad Street.
That's right.
Jackson locations.
Yeah, I can't fit all that on there, though,
All
so
right.
it just says
And that is that's a $50 gift card, by the way.
That's a date with the missus, man. I mean,
yeah,
you get out there and go. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Broad Street, Sal and Mookie's, Bravo, all wonderful restaurants led by Jeff Good and Dan.
Congrats to
Blumenthal.
Michael. Real quick, can I say, for housekeeping purposes, if you win and you ever have any questions, 601-885-3776. It's the text line. We'll answer them for you, but you have 2 weeks to pick up your prize.
And then we're pulling it back in.
And then we're pulling it because we're getting full. So I got people who are about to be out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the deal. You find someone to come get it. We're in Madison.
Yep.
on 463.
We'll take care of all the info you
You
need.
can't miss
but
us.
yeah.
We're right off the interstate.
Yep. All right, let's go to let's see.
That's up to you.
Yeah, we're going to go Clay.
All right.
Clay H.
Clay H.
Clay
All right.
H.
You ready?
On the Facebook. Yeah. Oh, you're putting some straight. That sucker's wobbling back and forth.
Oh,
M-Braves tickets. Boom. That's awesome.
they get to pick the date.
That's correct.
Tonight, tomorrow night, Friday, or Saturday.
We get you hooked up with the front office
and Sunday.
and you pick the date. That's right.
Monday's
That's
the
right.
day off.
But tomorrow is the first.
Thursday.
Thursday.
M Braves. Pete Lavin and the crew will be in tomorrow.
That's right. Pete and first baseman Drew Lugbauer. I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
Lugbauer.
Chef Kendall and Chef Wally. Kendall Collins, Wally Cummins.
Yeah.
Are coming in to cook an absolute feast as we host the M Braves tomorrow on the show.
Yeah. They might as well be married though, so that was a Freudian slip.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
That's
fair
a
enough.
good point. Chef Kendall, Chef Wally in the Whiskey 61 Lounge
Shout out to Clay.
on the Out of Bounds show tomorrow. And they're going to show off because Kendall sent me the menu and it's ridiculous.
Richard is watching on YouTube while he's fishing, and he said, I just missed a big fish trying to watch this so I can win a prize. Should we give Richard a big fish here on the show?
Yeah, what would that be?
One of the prizes.
Oh, okay, here we
yeah,
go.
let's
Ready?
give it to him.
All
All right,
right.
Richard, this one's for you, big dog. Watching on YouTube. He's fishing. He's out on his fishing boat.
Oh,
Boom.
big win.
OOB swag bag.
Yeah.
We can handle it.
Yeah, we've got some great stuff.
Yeah.
I told you we found all the koozies.
I know.
Well, Emma found them.
And we're getting new gear left and right, man.
I know. Well, the new gear is going to be so.
I'm just,
well,
yeah.
we can add a little Whiskey 61 there because we've got
Yeah.
some hats and shirts. We'll have more, but
We'll
okay.
mix it up.
You-
Absolutely.
Do you have enough?
Yeah.
Who just won? Richard?
That was Richard
All right,
out on his.
He's got out of bounds swag.
out on his fishing boat.
We've got super cool T-shirts, and ask him if he's a visor guy because we have some visors that are awesome.
Daniel says, "I need a win after that disaster last night from my Rebs."
All right, so is Daniel next?
Let's go, Daniel.
All right, here we go.
This is Daniel T on
Daniel
the Facebook page.
T prize wheel on the Out of Bounds show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, you're putting some. I mean, who you mad at today? You spinning that thing?
I know it. There you go.
M
again.
Braves tickets, boom.
Which is awesome.
yeah. We're trying to get
Hold
people
on.
out to the
Maybe
M-Braves.
we'll go to Thirsty Thursday tomorrow night.
Oh, little date
We'll have
night.
to ask Pete if we can get a.
I'm sure we can
suite
make
or
something
something.
happen.
All right, cool.
All right, so that was for Daniel T on the Facebook page, the M Braves
All right.
tickets.
Do you want to do one more? Or are we done?
We can do one more.
All right, Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by the premium cigars at Havana Smoke Shop. So it's a great golf week, right? It's nothing better than lighting up a great Rocky Patel or Oliva or Liga Privada or Fuente cigar from Havana. And that's across from Shaggy's at the Reservoir out there close to Mudbugs. And also I-55 North in Jackson, actually close to Corner Market on Northside Drive, another great partner, and Bravo, which is in Highland Village. So M Braves are in town. They were in town. They're in town tonight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow's the first Thirsty Thursday out in Pearl for the Mississippi Braves, M Braves, AA affiliate of the reigning World Series champion Atlanta Braves. Blake, are we going one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. Let's go with Joshua C. He's a Southern Miss fan. Joshua C. on the YouTube page.
He's happy. His baseball team's on fire.
Yeah,
All right.
on fire.
Scott Berry's got a club. Here we go.
Here we go. Last spin of the day. Well, not the day. Last spin of this segment because
Okay.
we're bringing it back at 9:30.
Okay.
OOB Fan Club. It's only right that a Southern Miss fan is the first guy in there. I love it. I love it.
You just make up stuff
Yeah.
and put it on the prize wheel.
Yeah, you know what I'm mad about, and I'm going to put on there for 9:30? There's not enough fake stuff on there. Nobody's getting the empty beer can. I got to put more up.
Or maybe like just a cup, like that Coors Light cup or something. I don't know. I'm thinking of some other stuff. I mean, they could have like one of my media credentials. Yeah. Oh, I was just looking at 3 of them over there. All right. Prize wheel brought to you by Havana Smoke Shop, I-55 North in Jackson, and across from Shaggy's at the Reservoir for all your premium cigars. Michael Katz coming up next, Ole Miss Insider on Bianco and the Rebs. is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
In any industry, businesses come and go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Is this thing working? Give me some sound over here. Yeah.
The Out of Bounds Show is powered by the award-winning golf courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Good morning. Welcome in. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by, well, let's go to the calamari at Bravo Italian Restaurant and Bar. Let's go with any of the panini sandwiches at Salad Mookie's in Jackson or Madison, including their pizza slice specials Tuesday through Friday, New York style pizza. And then, where do I want to go at Broad Street? They've got a sneaky good double patty cheeseburger that's delicious. Their breakfast sandwiches are fresh and amazing. All at Broad Street on I-55 North, Frontage Road. 3 great restaurants. We're all very fortunate to have them. Local. Good morning. Welcome in. The Kessler Prime guys will be here in an hour, and there's no telling what they're going to do, but we'll have some fun. And that'll be cool. They'll mix up some cocktails with our new bourbons that are on the show. We partnered with Wild Turkey, and under their portfolio, we're talking about Long Branch, which is Matthew McConaughey's bourbon, Russell's Reserve, which is amazing, and that's named after their master distiller, Eddie Russell. And then, of course, total rebooting of Turkey 101. So it's all good, and the Kessler Prime crew will be in here in an hour. We're going to go to the Corona Premier guest line. Welcome in Michael Katz, djournal.com. Ole Miss Insider, covers all the sports. And coming off of last night's 13-3 loss against Southeast Missouri, Ole Miss baseball is on their heels. And nobody could have, nobody thought this would happen March 14th when Ole Miss was sitting at number 1 and red hot out of the gate starting around February 15th. Since then, the wheels have fallen off, and people are calling, for Mike Bianco's job. We kind of felt like this was a make-or-break year. Interviewing with LSU is just and not getting the job was already, kind of dicey and a slippery slope. But then if you made up for it with an Omaha trip, you were going to be okay. Now you may not even make a regional, and you've got your arch rival coming in who's average, and you thought you'd smoke them this year. This was the year to get them, and this series could go either way. Katz, good morning. Welcome in. What's your takeaway from what is happening to this Ole Miss baseball program the last couple of weeks?
It's kind of stunning. Like you said, a couple weeks ago, this was the number 1 team in the country, and now, and no disrespect to Southeast Missouri, at the RPI wise, they're actually pretty good, but to do what they've done, for me, it hasn't necessarily. I think we knew the pitching was going to be questionable, just with when you lose guys like Gunnar and Doug Nikhazy and Broadway and those sorts of guys. Obviously, it's going to be tough to replace them. I think the thing for me that's been so kind of head-scratching is where has the offense consistently been? You look at everybody who was coming back, and this was supposed to be the best lineup in college baseball, and sometimes it is, but other than really Tim Elko, who's been pretty consistent this year, it's kind of been a head scratcher as to where the offense kind of goes. And last night they left a bunch of runners on base. They aren't walking as much as they should. They're just, I don't know. It's just a very inconsistent team, and not to mention the defense, which has been kind of shoddy. I think it was 3 more errors last night. It's just sort of they're hard to figure out because sometimes, I guess it's been a few weeks since they've looked quote unquote great, and I guess playing level of competition has something to do with that. When they're playing the worst, they're not as good teams on that schedule, they're obviously going to look better. But this is a team that took two or three against a pretty good Auburn team a few weeks ago, and same with Kentucky, and now they can't even keep home field advantage. It's really it's kind of crazy to fathom, and like you said, they've got State coming in, and State, again, isn't one of the better State teams, but they just beat Jackson State 17-2 or whatever it was last night. It seems like they're at least kind of finding their stride. To say this is a big weekend, I think would be an understatement.
Michael Katz, Ole Miss Insider, on the Corona Premier guest line, talking Rebs. Rebs Dogs tie up tomorrow for a 3-game series in Oxford. And, I mean, you've got the Grove Bowl, double-decker. It's going to be wild there this weekend. We'll see how the attendance looks. I think tomorrow will be great, but depending on what happens tomorrow, will it hold for Friday and Saturday's game? We'll see. Did y'all get to talk to Bianco last night? How did that work?
So I actually yesterday was a sort of day off for me, so I was covering it remotely. Like I was keeping track of it from home. But yes, I know that people did get to talk with Bianco, and by all accounts, he was a little bit befuddled by what he saw as well. I think he's searching for answers, kind of like the rest of us.
Man, can't you feel the temp just going up and up and up on this deal, Katz?
Yeah. I mean, it's it's like after every heartbreaker, and the South Carolina series is really, really tough, and then someone will say stay with us, like we're going to be fine, we'll figure it out, and then they throw up a clunker like this, and then you're like, well, how many more times can you kind of say that before you run out of those chances? It's like you said, I know that people were this was a big year for them, especially with what was coming back and what State did last year, and just time wise, it's been a long time since they made that Omaha trip, and at the beginning of the year, it looked like this was going to be kind of a pretty easy ride there, and then all of a sudden, like you said, it's a team that might not even make it into the field or make it into the the SEC tournament since they only take 12. It's a hard team to figure out. There are a lot of games left, but man, this weekend feels really big.
All right, so are you on the same page with me? You're expecting a packed house tomorrow because it's game one and everything's still on the line as far as beating your in-state arch rival. And then it just depends on how game one goes. Where do you stand on attendance going into tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be great tomorrow. I want to say it's probably going to be pretty good the whole weekend. I don't know if it'll be the quote-unquote packed house. I do think Saturday's got a pretty good chance just because timing-wise with the Grove Bowl, I think their thinking is that they're going to get people from there to just walk over to baseball after that's over. I do think it'll be pretty good. I don't think people have lost complete faith yet, and just I think with it being State, I don't it's one of those series where you throw out the record book, quote unquote. I think it'll be pretty good, but I think tomorrow's probably our best chance at that sellout.
Okay. All right, Michael Katz on the Out of Bounds Show, djournal.com. So the place was empty last night, the last, whatever. I watched, I guess I picked it up in the third or something, second or third, and it was empty. I think it'll be. You kind of wonder which way that could trend if MSU wins game one.
No, that is true. That is a good point. It's kind of a double-edged sword in terms of everything going on because things are going well. Everybody's going to want to be at the game, but if there's a 13-3 situation tomorrow, like you said, I think people could find other things to do. It's a crazy weekend, and I think it has the potential to have a lot of people all in at all there, but. Man, it is kind of wild to think that people might find other things to do than watch the biggest rivalry there is.
If they win game one, they're good for the rest of the series. I think that's just how it all rolls out. If they win tomorrow, it may be packed either way, like you're saying, but just in case, if they win game one, then it'll roll into Friday and Saturday. So we're hearing, and I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but we're hearing that the buyout is 60% of $3.6 million of kind of the remade contract from last summer when everything went down and Hanko went and interviewed for LSU. We're hearing 60% of $3.6 million, which I think would be $2.1 million. But have you heard anything, Kat? Have you or Parrish heard about number?
I have not personally. I haven't gotten there yet. But that I mean, I'm not super familiar with his contract and I guess baseball contracts in general. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot to think about. But if this is the time you feel like you got to do it, I don't think the money's going to be an issue.
Right. No question. Not with SEC budgets anymore. All right, let's switch gears to football. What time is the Grove Bowl?
I believe it's noon.
All right. So are we expecting like, people are trying to sell us that we've got a Dart Altmaier competition race here? How about this? What are your expectations on the Grove Bowl Saturday?
It's interesting because we met with Lane yesterday, and I think they're all kind of still trying to figure out like what the format of the game is going to be and like how the teams are going to get picked. Like, they're thinking about maybe doing like a draft kind of thing, so at least it keeps people interested in terms of not it being just like ones and twos and all that kind of stuff, which I think would make it more interesting. It's a lot more interesting to see a combination of things than ones versus twos. But it's I will say, and I know that we've kind of talked a lot about maybe them overselling the quarterback competition in terms of Dart and Altmaier, but at least the practices that we've been there, there have been struggles from both guys just in terms of turnovers and consistency. And and it might be the defense has looked very solid. I think that has been something of note, but I don't know if I don't think it's all necessarily lip service when Lane says that there's work to be done by both guys. Again, I think it would be pretty stunning if come September, Jackson wasn't the guy, just kind of based on I don't think you bring a guy of his caliber to ride the pine. I don't think he comes for that either. But I do think it is going to be interesting tomorrow to kind of see how they look in what we think is going to be kind of game situations. It has been tough to evaluate a little bit this spring because there have been injuries. A lot of the wide receivers have been out, and so I think that has probably hurt the evaluation a little bit as well. And it sounds like they're going to have some of those guys back for the Grove Bowl, which should hypothetically help. But I think it is going to be interesting to at least kind of see what the quarterbacks look like. It's not going to be the end-all, be-all, but it is going to be the last taste of things we get.
What if Altmaier has, like, by far and away the better day? Won't that be wild? The scuttlebutt, the talk on the street from there until August camp?
Yeah, the message boards are always very rational, and I imagine it'll be even more rational if that were to happen. It would be wild, but I don't know if it would be like a huge surprise because Jackson's only been here a few weeks or months, whatever it's been now, and Luke's been there for a year and a half. I think he enrolled early. He's been there for a while, and he should be the more comfortable one. And so if he knocks it out of the park, then it obviously, I think if anything, gives fans more to think about than maybe the coaches, just because I don't know how much you take away from spring ball. Obviously, if you could pick your guy now, you would, but most of the time that's not what happens, and that's not what's going to happen here. And I think there's a lot more to kind of more of a comment in terms of that competition. But if Luke did have a big game, it would be. It'd be great for content. We would have a lot of page views. I can say that.
Man. All right. It's going to be a big weekend in Oxford. Could be a wild one, depending on which way this series goes for either team. So all eyes will be locked in the state of Mississippi, either at the game or streaming the game. And it looks like the third game's on ESPN2 on Saturday at 3:30. But tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, first pitch. Bianco Lamonas, Rebs Dogs. Here we go. Can't wait. 3-game series in Oxford, Mississippi, plus the Grove Bowl, plus double-decker. Michael Katz, djournal.com on the Corona Premier Guest Line. Katz, we appreciate it. Have a good weekend, man.
Thanks, Bo.
Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Mike Hike in Flowood for your next pre-owned or new SUV or truck. We'll go with the guys at Mac Hike in Flowood. That's MacHikeFlowood.com. I thought he asked a great question. Where's the offense been consistently? And it hasn't been there. Like he said, Elko has been consistent. But other than that, you've had some other guys that you thought could have like big-time years. And you just haven't quite had that. But where has it been as of late? And they're going to need it over the next 3 days, even with a solid Mississippi State club. For Mississippi State standards now, kind of average Mississippi State baseball team going into Oxford this weekend. So where's the offense been? And with neither team doing what they want on the mound, especially on the back end, Blake, you're looking at, you get some fireworks going. We could have some 11-9 type stuff.
I think this series is going to be a great indicator and a microcosm of both teams' seasons, which means odds are Ole Miss pitching struggles, State scores some runs, but Mississippi State's back-end bullpen allows Ole Miss to get back in it, and I think all 3 games could end up being games that are decided in those last 3 innings. But I could see each one of them where Ole Miss gets down and then comes back because Mississippi State's bullpen isn't good. But let me ask you this question about Ole Miss. We've talked about the amount of guys they return. You heard Katz talk about that kind of roster and where have they been and where did the offense go. Did we do with Ole Miss baseball what State fans did with State basketball, which is assume there was talent there that maybe wasn't there?
Yes.
We accredited talent to guys who aren't really ready.
Now, you know how many times I tried to say over and over again that because I ran into so many guys from Mississippi State
that thought it was a good team.
And they just kept saying, well, we've got all the talent we need. And that just simply – but once that
true.
Goes through the fan base and on the boards, people regurgitate it.
Yeah.
Because I also find that there's only about 10% that are gung-ho and really 20% that know the rosters. The others maybe go to a lot of games. They love their school, but they're not locked in. And, yeah, those transfers did not pan out for Ben Howland, and he ended up losing his job. Bianco, is there talent on this club? Absolutely. But
it's not what we thought it was.
It's not what we thought it was.
Both on the mound and at the plate.
Yeah.
And
there's time, but we're running out of time. The sand is literally going through the hourglass.
I just go to the famous quote, you are what your record says you are. In baseball, can you turn it around? Yes, it's different than any other sport, mostly because of the longevity of the season.
No question.
And the fickle nature of success.
We've seen Mississippi State do this. I think here's our problem right now for Ole Miss fans and MSU fans are watching this. MSU has started out terrible and flipped the switch, so to speak, and made some runs. But we haven't really, I don't think, experienced Ole Miss.
No, they're always the team that starts hot and falls apart at the end. That's what it is 24/7. Every year since Bianco's been there, they fall apart.
It's not
at the
every
end.
year, but it's
outside of 14 probably.
I mean, they've obviously had some years where they've gone north of 40 and been in a great spot and been a top 8 seed. So it's not every year, but you got to ask the question as far as like, can they turn it around? We've watched Mississippi State turn it around before, with some teams and then make a deep run into the postseason. Can Ole Miss do that? I mean, we're getting texts left and right. There's not an Ole Miss fan today that's listening to our show that believes that can happen.
Mm-mm.
And they were lifeless last night. I mean, you could see body language when Bianco was going to the mound from the infielders too. And you were just trying to read the room and go, okay,
No faith.
What exactly is going on here? Because you're looking at the faces and you're like, man, those are really, really, really good college baseball players. Elko, Gonzalez, and so on. I'm not talking about the pitchers going in and out of that. But
what you said at the beginning of the show and what Katz just said about Mike Bianco being befuddled, looking befuddled. And what did you tell me at the beginning of the show when you watched his face in the bullpen? It looked like he was just lost. I just think it's somebody who's had control on his program for 22 seasons or 21 and a half seasons. And it's like, really, for the first time ever, we can say he doesn't seem to have control of the team.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's probably the scariest if you're an Ole Miss baseball fan. Because you've never, as much as they've fallen apart at different times on postseason runs, he's never not had control of the team. And it looks like they're completely lost.
I wonder if it is 60% of $3.6 million as far as the buyout for Bianco. I think that comes in at about $2.1 million.
That's cheap. I mean, that's
well,
nothing.
for baseball, that's a lot.
Yeah, but for Ole Miss athletics, it's nothing.
But, man, can you believe that? I don't think we've ever had a baseball coach. No, we haven't ever had a baseball coach go for anything like that as far as, $2.1 million. That is a ton of dough. And then you'll flip it. You'll go get somebody probably for 7 figures plus new assistants in the whole thing.
At this point, you have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to go big game hunting if you're Keith Carter because the fan base has made it clear they have an expectation of a standard that they want you to meet.
Everybody will run with Dan McDonnell. I don't think he ever leaves Louisville, and I definitely don't believe that he replaces his good friend after getting fired. Cliff Godwin, I don't think that would happen either, but maybe there's enough money there. That will be one that's floated left and right, and then there'll be a bunch of other guys. It's a great job. You can get, I don't know if you want to say soup, but you can make a ton of money, 7 figures a year in Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah. 7 super regionals, 1 trip to Omaha, and it may end like this for the winningest baseball coach in Ole Miss history.
Yeah. All right, Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. I want to thank you for going to our podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify, searching the Out of Bounds show with Bo Bounds. We've had the best Matt Corral content the last 90 days. It's unbelievable. Tom Luganbill, Mike Detillier, Marcus Mosher, Fred Smoot. One after another. Steve Palazzolo, Pro Football Focus, and some other really, really good content. That's on our podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds.